Alison, we're into May. Cinco de Mayo was yesterday. It was Eli King's birthday.
And today is Merrick Myers' birthday.
Let's go. Let's flip and go. Freaking go. Any other F words? Let's go. Yeah.
I don't know any other. I mean, I do.
Let's Frank go.
Let's fantastic go.
Let's Fantastic Four. Let's Flipper.
Let's
Um,
15 go because that's how
she's
old,
she's 15. That's crazy.
that how old Eli is?
Yep. In my brain. Eli turned 27 today.
That's 15
Yesterday.
plus 12,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, oh, okay. Well, we're like already into spring. It's literally going to be June pretty quick. I don't know about you with my age, but the time is, it's a very frustrating concept because it's just like a week is literally a day to me now.
I know.
It's just crazy, man.
And
It's
then,
crazy.
but I really want the summer to go slow. I don't think it has any intention of doing that, but I
Yeah.
love the summer. Love it.
What are your main summer things?
Well,
Because your husband has a pretty amazing schedule for a working man.
I think that's why I like the summer. Summer Ryan is like oof, it's like my favorite version of him. He's super smiley and happy and like not that he's like an unhappy person normally, but it's just like regular Ryan is like already great. But he levels up in the summer and it's just like he's just like que sera, sera, and it's great. And
Yeah.
I like warm weather. We're gonna go
Yep.
to Disney World, and I know
Yep.
that's very divisive. Some people are like, no Disney World, and other people are like matching outfits at Disney World every day. And I'm love Disney World. We as a family love Disney World. We're gonna go to the
How
beach.
many how many times have you been to Disney World? A lot?
Yeah, like
Okay.
10.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Mhm.
We've been twice. The first time we went, we didn't tell our kids and we went as a couple.
Oh, and they didn't like that.
No, they were just kind of young.
Okay.
They were like 3 and 5,
Oh yeah.
which Maggie would have loved it. So then we all went together and we only had the money for, I say that we could have like put on a credit card or whatever. We went the cheapest week in February and we got a room with two double beds. For those of us that know the Kings, there are five of us. And and so I brought a thermarest.
To Disney?
It's also fun fact. It was all about money. Fun fact. We had a Chevy like a GMC Yukon, which is a Chevy Tahoe, which is a 3-row seat SUV. For those of you not in the know, in the 2000s, those were all a lot of people had them.
Yep.
And great car. Transmission goes out the week before. We're driving to Orlando from Tulsa. I need 3 rows. And I'm like, so I went to go rent a minivan. And the minivan was like $1,000 for the week. Did not have it. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And then I saw that I could rent a Dodge Charger for about about $28 a day or something like that. It was like the difference was like redonk. And so I pulled up to the house. This is true. I pulled up to the house in this Dodge Charger, which I'm fine. I could drive a Dodge Charger to Orlando. And the kids were like, wait, what? What are we doing?
Going?
And I'm like, you guys, there are 3 seats in the back. You'll be great.
Good luck.
So we stuffed that trunk. Like we basically had to like can opener that trunk. We stuffed that trunk so full of stuff. And then we went to Orlando and it was just like, get off me.
Yeah.
Eli's bugging me. Get off like that for like 20 hours.
Sardines packed like
Oh my gosh. And they were like, why? I'm like, hey, I mean, I don't know. We're fine. Maybe I justified it because I knew I was gonna be sleeping on the floor the whole week.
yeah. Yeah, and
Anyway.
then after all that, yeah, you go camping on the floor in a hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So that's Drew will appreciate that when he's editing. That was not one of my greatest moves, but you got to work the budget you're given. So,
Gotta work the budget you're given.
mhm. What's been stuck in your head this week, Allison Myers?
Mostly that my daughter's turning 15. And
Is
that
that
it's
great?
coinciding with,
Bad?
oh
What?
yeah, it's great. It's just like weird. Like,
Yeah.
and it's coinciding with she's like wrapping up middle school. So next year it's like starting high school, and 15 is like when we start to learn how to drive. It just feels like old.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Well,
I'm
I,
good with it. It's just weird.
I mean, I have a pretty distinct like memory of you being 15,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
I think I was 15 once.
Uh-huh.
I think. Let's not talk about that. I mean,
Okay.
I won't mind.
Um, any big birthday plans
Oh yeah,
over?
we're gonna stretch this mother as long as we can because her birthday is actually today. The
Okay.
brothers are still finishing up finals, so they're not all going to be home until one comes home maybe Thursday, one Friday night. So we're going to do family birthday on Saturday, just immediate family. Then we want to celebrate with grandmom and granddad, and that I think maybe we'll do that Sunday, which is also like Mother's Day, and we're just going to keep it. We got a birthday party with friends on Saturday. I mean, we're just
It's awesome, man.
ride the birthday train as long as we can.
That's so great. Well, what's that dynamic like? Since this is the podcast about being really personal about Allison's life, that's what we're deciding to change it to. Yeah, and
Okay,
your
thank you.
parents will love that. The
Yeah.
no, but what's the dynamic like having these two big studly twin dudes like being the big brothers, twin big brothers over this girl that's growing into being a woman? Like that's got to be a super interesting dynamic. Like
Yeah,
they're either engaged or not, or protective, or I kind of like what's the vibe there?
yeah, I think that having phones, I think she like reaches out to them way more than I realized. So I think they actually communicate
Oh, right.
more than I think that they do.
Hmm.
Um, but I also think for majority of her life, she has been just like we were on a walk the other day and she said something. She was talking about she goes, I just think brothers are so I think the brothers are so funny. I laugh at everything they say. Even if it's an inside joke and I know I don't know it. I just
Laugh anyway.
I just laugh anyway and I just know it's funny. And we're walking a little further and she goes, I just think they're the coolest people in the whole world, I think.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I don't know that they really get get it, you know. I mean, they're 20.
Yeah,
So they don't get it like that, but she's just always been so into them. Like she just thinks they're the funniest and the smartest and the cutest and the bestest. And
that's so great.
yeah, she's pumped for them to come home and be home for at least Parker will be home all summer. The other one's going to go to camp, so that'll she'll have 50% of them home.
The other one,
Yeah, the other one,
Reese.
Miss Myers.
Um, yeah, he the I just I'm always fascinated by sibling relationships, Didn't have
Yeah,
any, and so um that's just awesome. It's interesting.
yeah,
Okay, so well, I'll tell you what's been stuck in my head. I have a
yeah.
story for you.
I want to know.
I've been sick, so that's really been stuck in my head. Sick, like I've
Say if
had a
it's
bad
about a
cough.
snake, I think we
No,
need to
it's
move
not about
on.
snake, but this is a pretty good story. Um, so Saturday,
Mhm.
Kristen and her friend Nancy, they're getting ready for Tulsa Tough. So starting to get miles back in on the bike. And I've joined them a couple of times. I'm going to Red Rocks during over Tulsa Tough, so I won't be there with Drew. And so I don't have to ride, but I want to because I'm fat and out of shape. I don't feel great. Like I'm doing the mid 50s. Like I'm not feeling. I'm like stress eating a lot, like
Right.
and I've always been. Some people think I'm super active. I'm not. I'm fairly active, and I like riding my bike and do things. Anyway, so like I start getting miles up with them. So they went to Tour de Tulsa, which is a road bike ride, and there's all different links, and they were going to go 52. And I'm like, well, do you want to do 52? I'm like, I haven't gone 50 in like 2 or 3 years. Like I've been kind of short, like not in shape much, but maybe. So I signed up for it. And the beauty of the ride was it's a really hilly ride. And it can be difficult. Of course, I'm not riding real fast. So there's like a little fork in the road way out by Pretty Water Lake. Um, and you can go down to Sapulpa or come back around over through Sand Springs and come back home to Tulsa. And the ride was going really well. And I don't know if you were out Saturday, but Saturday was just a peach of a day.
Yeah, it's
It,
gorgeous.
it was awesome, man. It was like at 9 or 10 o'clock, it was like 67 degrees. The wind was low. And, I'm like, I, I think I'm just going to do it because I should. I mean, it'd be hard at the end or whatever, but like I'll do it. And this is not the story. It did end up like that. It ended up being a great ride. And at the last 10 miles or so, I kind of tanked and they did not. And I just kind of like, but I accepted it. I oriented. I'm like, you know what? This is what it is. Everything was great. It was a wonderful ride. But something happened during the ride. So we went out past the Pulpa and there was three of us and we were riding down these country roads and we went dip down and we're climbing this hill. And I'm always third because I outweigh them probably combined. And so I'm in the back and I'm kind of pumping up this hill and I need a little bit more backstory. I I had just bought a new jersey and I don't like spending a lot of money on jerseys. And so sometimes you can buy knockoffs um that look good, but they're like 45 bucks and not 145 bucks. And I don't like having a whole and so I need a new jersey, bought a jersey. I'm wearing a jersey, it's a great jersey. I like it. It looks decent, all this stuff. I'm pumping up the hill about 20 miles in, and my jersey explodes. Jersey. I'm so I'll use the word fucking fat that my jersey just went while I'm pumping up the hill. And and all that was joining it was the zipper, nothing on the bottom and nothing on the top. And it had just like one little point, it was zipper connection. And and I'm like, I cannot, my whole brain like almost exploded too. Cause I'm like, this is not happening. I am not that guy. I have never, I don't think of myself that way. There's no way. But it did. And then obviously the first thing I did was I'm just like, is there anyone around to have seen this? And,
Yeah, is
and
there a
there
person?
was not. There was not one person. And it was sort of the Lord going like, yeah, you need to think about this because the next time that you let your body get this out of control, like you're going on national TV. You know what I mean? So
You
like
get one, you get
you
one
get
pass.
one. You get one. That's right. And so I stopped and I started yanking at the zipper, just trying to, and I couldn't get it undone. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to ride like 30 miles back to my house with no shirt on, and I'm fat. And I'm like, I just can't. I think I'm gonna have to call an Uber. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, and they were gone. Like Kristen and Nancy had ridden on, and so
Um,
I'm like yanking at it, yanking it. Finally, I yank it apart. Nobody has ridden up yet at all. And then I tried to zipper out, and it worked. And I zipped it back up, and I got back on my way, and I had no other mishaps. But Nancy said when I told her, I said, "You guys, I got to tell you this. This is an amazing thing happened that will just die in my memory if I don't tell you right now." Like no one was around to see it. And she said, now you have another thing in common with Janet Jackson. You had a wardrobe malfunction."
I
I'm
spit.
like, yeah. I'm like, that's the other thing that I have in common with Janet Jackson? Like, she didn't hear me say that. I'm like, I don't know what we're saying here.
I'm saying here. That's fantastic.
Is that not a great story?
Also, did you just have, okay, I want to offer another perspective. Is it possible that it was not your body that blew up this shirt and that it's just cheaply,
The
badly made and it
but sure.
okay.
There's three factors to the blow up. And so one, cheap jersey, not a great zipper. Two, I'm at least 20, 25 pounds overweight. It's all around my gut. I'm 57. It's not great. Three, I did roll up my jacket and stick it in the back pocket, which tightened the whole thing. Four, I was inhaling very hard. Yeah. Yeah. I was
So,
expanding the belly.
so then so then were you just shirtless from that point
No,
forward?
no, no, it
Upstairs
worked.
clothes?
It fixed. I fixed it. If I zipped it back up and it worked.
I thought you meant the material
The
literally
material literally blew up.
ripped.
No, it's just a zipper. It was just the zipper. But I'm trying to think about how tight it would have to be for spandex without
But
any sort of like,
it was just like the zipper came apart. So
yeah.
it's still zipped up here.
It was zipped in the middle. It was stuck in the middle. My belly was hanging out the bottom, and the front part was wide open like
Sorry,
it's 1977.
sorry there was no picture.
I should have done that if I would have been
Oh,
a little bit more self-deprecating than I already am. I probably would have done that, but I didn't think of it because I was very embarrassed.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh then. I'm sorry.
I'm
You are the
I'm
one
st- I'm
telling
s- I'm still really embarrassed. Uh, it's a great face. If it's like they would say on.
me telling the story, so can't be that.
So that one was stuck in my head.
So your diet started the next day.
Well, I went to the doctor, and it's just like it is. I mean, that's a yes. I mean, not just because of that, but like, yeah, I can't. I don't know. Like, I can't get away with bad diet at all. Like I have to. And once I start eating well, like when I do like Whole 30, I'm always
Right.
into it. It's great, and I feel good. I just think that that's a cope that I experience like after working and doing all the stuff. I get home and I want to eat, and I have a big dopamine like. I, Chris Reed used to call me food lover. Like when we go out on recruiting trips,
Yeah.
he'd be like, and Chris has always been like super slim and fit, and like he just doesn't have a
Yeah.
problem with food. And I didn't think that I did. I thought I just loved it. But like I was always pretty slim, but not now that I'm older now. But we were eating at like Chimmy's one time, and it was just me and him, and I was eating, and I noticed he was just watching me.
Mm.
He was just sitting across watching me.
Yeah.
And I stopped. I'm like, what?
What
He's
is
like,
it?
he's like, this is my Chris Reed impersonation, who also has been a guest on the podcast. So those of you that are listening,
Yeah.
go back, listen to him.
The 5 or something.
Yeah, yeah, he's the Enneagram series. He said, "You, you really love that food, don't you?"
That's kind of exactly how he talks.
And I said, "Why, yes, I do. It's Mexican food."
Yeah.
He says, "We should call you food lover."
Food lover.
Food lover. Our topic is much lighter today.
Thank God.
There's been some heavy stuff. There's been some heavy stuff. A reminder: the orientation cycle book is first draft done. Doing the complete read through right now, a third through, and it's about I don't know how many pages. It's 30,000 words. It's about 110 Microsoft Word pages. It's not that long,
Yeah.
but it's not short either. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just kind of a self-help book, like regular length. It's probably going to be a 150-page little book, but it's just really going well. And a reminder to all of you, everything is in relationship. All of our problems are relationship problems, and understanding where you are is kind of everything because from there you can make choices about what to do to tether to create a safe space and how to move your stuff if you're stuck. And the applications and the implications of that idea are pretty enormous. And so as we talk about relationships on the podcast, it's not just about relationships with other people, it's about relationships with anything. And this one today is about relationship with our emotions. There's probably a pretty good way to frame it up, and particularly what one emotion and its family does to our brain. Did you read what I sent you? What did you see? What are you thinking?
Yes. Pull it up.
Emotion. What's the emotion? Identify the emotion, please.
Oh, gratitude.
Gratitude. Let's go.
Attitude. And what I really liked, uh, well, we're talking kind of about the benefit of gratitude and making the choice for gratitude and what that can do, and how and you know me, I have no extra letters after my name. So I don't know the science. I don't know, but so when I read this stuff, it literally, the way your shirt blew up
Blew up.
is what it does to my brain. Because I'm just like, what? Like the idea that like our brains are wired and can be rewired, that there are like
Exactly.
grooves and that I can regroove it based on the things that I practice, based on the things that I give attention to. And so this premise that we can use gratitude, and you would know the science and this and the research behind it, but that we can use practices of gratitude to rewire and retrain our brain, that just like, oh, what did it say? The more we worry, where is it? If you spend your time worrying, your brain gets really efficient at worrying. If you spend
Right.
your time noticing what's good, it gets better at that too. Like,
That's right.
and in our house, Ryan Myers has been talking about practicing, like that we all practice, like there's a way that we're practicing our life. There are things that we practice. And I'm like, shut up about it. Like, I'm like, like typically, since this podcast is about me and my very
Your
personal
personal life.
stories,
Yeah. Yeah.
historically speaking, if I'm gonna have an anxiety spike, it typically happens at the same time of day as the last time it happened. And
Okay.
if it happens one day, it will probably happen the next day because I will spend the next day wondering all day if it's going to happen again at the same time that it
Um,
happened the day before.
right.
Because I'm
Okay. So, yeah.
practicing worrying at the same time as I did the other day. And what I am not saying, as someone who deals with anxiety, and I don't think this is what you're saying, what I'm not saying, listeners out there, is that if you have a panic attack or if you have anxiety or if you have that you did that to yourself and all you got to do is think happy thoughts. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
I do think though there are things that we can do to help position our brains and our thoughts towards more healthy loops and cycles versus unhealthy loops and cycles.
Well, I mean, think of it, the idea that our brain is designed primarily as a survival organ, a part of our like survival's number one. And when we talk about when we learn about how to do like trauma informed kind of care and the role that trauma and chronic stress has in our lives, and kind of like what the brain's main job is, how the brain prioritizes the issue. Like you know that like when you're in like a severe accident, how the brain kind of like sends blood to the brain, you know, the head. Like
Yeah.
right. It's like there's these automatic processes of detecting threat and alerting your
Yeah.
body and your
Am I okay?
surroundings.
Are we
That's
safe?
correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
And the more that you've experienced various sorts of threats or ambiguities growing up, I don't know where I stand, orientation, I don't know where I am with you, then the brain adapts and it figures out. But the brain has a negativity bias.
Yeah.
All of them do.
Yeah, like when you said like nine times out of 10, or that's my number, not yours, but like when someone's like, I'm stuck in my head, no one
Hmm.
is like, I'm just stuck in my head and all I can think about is how awesome my life is. Like no one, no one's ever
Right,
doing
right.
that. Like I know we talked about the things that are stuck in our head and some of those things are good, but when you're using that phrase, like I'm just all stuck in my head, most people, I don't know that I've ever heard anyone be like, I'm just so stuck in my head. I
Yeah,
can't
this
I can't stop thinking about how great everything is. I've never
right.
heard that. It's
Yeah,
typically, like you're saying, a negative loop.
that's correct. And it's that way on purpose. And so one of our big jobs today, and then also kind of like at our place, is to maybe help people understand that like their brain's actually acting like a brain.
Mm.
Like anxiety and stress are like the brain protecting you, but living in a space where all these things are provided for you, where we maybe in more of an objective sense aren't as in danger, right, as our ancestors were, this sort of thing. Our brain tends to kind of get over. excited. And it's always looking for threat, and that's a default. It's an automatic thing. It wants to notice problems and threats and figure out what's wrong. It's just, but it's wired that way. That's what the brain's supposed to do. There's this other part of our brain that's wired towards like creativity and creation and like and gratitude and maybe even more like positive feeling emotions hang out there. But I made this statement, and I think it's a little bit absolute. But like, so the study you were looking at that study that said that
Yeah.
like brains got rewired. Tell us a little bit about that, because then I want to make a point about gratitude.
The study that I
Yeah,
read,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But they take X number of people and who were experiencing anxiety, depression symptoms, and they did divided the group up, and it was talk therapy. Was this the one that got broken up into three chunks? Talk therapy,
Yes,
an exercise where three times a week they were spending 20 minutes kind of writing a thank you note or writing a gratitude journal
yes,
or
that's correct.
intentional gratitude for 20 minutes a day for three times a week, and then medication. And they saw the medication and the letter writers saw the same amount of improvement. It
And it
beat,
was greater than talk therapy.
it beat out the talk therapy. Yeah.
Yeah,
And this idea that the just so you're talking an hour a week, right? Three sessions of 20,
yeah, yeah,
1 hour a week, just intentionally focusing on what am I thankful for?
that's right.
What's going okay? Or what, and it that and at least the way I read it, it was kind of non-specific. It was just like, what are you grateful for? And maybe it's like, I love
Yeah.
Cool Ranch Doritos. I love them. I'm so glad they exist in the world, because there's some days where some people might feel like that they don't have more than that. I don't know, but like it's
Yeah,
anything. It's anything. But the practice, it started again, it's a practice. So you go one pass with your bike in the grass, you might leave a tire mark if there's some like dew in the
right.
grass, but the
That's
sun
correct.
comes out, it's gone. But you ride that same path three times a week for 20 minutes, and then you do it again the next week, and you do it again the next week. That's a path.
That's a pretty good metaphor. Nice job, Allison.
Thank you. I was
So
using that creative part of my brain.
yes, you were. Um, I mean, yeah, it's if you think about these things like physically, I mean, this is really, really great news. But I think I see tons of people that have anxiety issues. Like that might be that and communication stuff might be the main thing that I do, and maybe grief. Um, but we feel so stuck and we feel so overwhelmed, and it gets in our bodies,
Yeah.
right? But these guys were saying if they were just journaling about gratitude, that their bodies, their emotions literally changed. And the theory is that this is an intervention, a way to wear a path into our brains that create pathways that are like smooth. It's the same thing about visualization, like how when you see people that are like super into visualizing, and there's all kinds of stuff on the internet about like I visualized it and it came true. Or
Yeah.
or even, and I don't
Yeah.
yeah, or I don't want to get into the weeds too much because people will hate me for it, but like sometimes even with prayer, like people like will do these prayers that feel kind of superfluous or feel kind of like over the top, or like prayed for whatever. I don't know. It's like you really lean into these visual spaces, or these like visualizations or these gratitude spaces, and the brain, because you can do it consciously, the brain kind of follows suit, and new things become available. The walls do not close in.
Mm.
The walls open up, and it's literally by practicing that over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So here's the thing I wanted to say after we looked at that. There were a couple of studies we looked at. There was one at, I think the first one was in,
Oh, the bricklaying one with Winston Churchill.
oh, that was a great comment too. Yeah, it was UC Davis, and there was another one like in Miami. And they're like, yeah, Winston Churchill was like, I lay bricks
When
to
I'm
like
depressed.
free my mind up. Yeah, when I'm depressed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a really good one too. This idea of like this practice, this activity has a way of breaking loose the brain and creating pathways
Mm.
that tend to be that then become our reality. Like
Yeah.
we get all wrapped up in this stuff, but it's like maybe it's not so real, and we need to engage physical practices that that we have the power to control. Laying brick, taking a walk, doing a journal. I say there's a physical gateway into these things. And many
Mhm.
times you know that it's gotten really, really bad whenever your anxiety or your depression gets into your body.
Mhm.
Many times, and that's what somatic therapy is all about.
Yeah.
EMDR is that way,
Yeah.
that there's a physical gateway back in. But gratitude, I think, is super interesting. I've been saying this lately. I said, gratitude, now let's just think about this. Maybe it's not a unique idea. Gratitude is the only positive emotion that you can summon, that you can really control.
At will. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I hit Chat GPT with that, and it's like, well, I mean, kinda.
Oh, I've never heard ChatGPT be anything except super accommodating.
Yeah, super like Allison, you're the smartest person
I
ever.
love her. My
Hmm.
ChatGPT is a girl in my head, and I love her so much. She's
Uh-huh.
it said
Gratitude.
what?
Okay, gratitude is the only positive feeling that you can actually summon and like kind of control.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, I can't control how I feel. I'm like, have you ever been like, oh, I'm going to think about how thankful I am for my mother? Oh, hmm.
What moves it from a thought to a feeling? Not trying to
Well,
be
with
fast.
the gratitude's interesting. So, what we would define thoughts, I wasn't going to talk about this part, but I think it's really interesting information. In ACT, we define thoughts, or this is a little bit of my take on it. Thoughts are words, pictures, or I like this word, or movies.
Mm.
Words, pictures, or movies in your head that may or may not be true.
Yeah, yeah.
So a movie might be a memory, a fantasy, a picture might be a still, and a word would be a phrase, a sentence, a self-talk, a someone else
Yeah.
talking, whatever. Those are thoughts. And they may or may not be true. That's incredibly, incredibly important.
Yeah.
But an emotion, much harder to define. I've been using for years, and I think it's a sidestep. Emotions are typically like physiological responses, but like I say, I say, emotions are things you feel, and feelings are things you emote.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, world. Good thing this is free. Anyway,
Good thing.
um, yeah. But so if those thoughts are like pictures or whatever, but like gratitude, I mean, we might say gratitude is a feeling. So it says like might not be the only one. Like you could summon compassion. You could think I should feel compassion. Sometimes compassion hits you like a wave, but
Yeah.
or maybe curiosity. Curiosity is interesting because we don't always characterize that as an emotion.
Mm.
But like the idea that you could have an inquisitive look, like I think curiosity actually is an emotion,
Mm.
you know? Appreciation or thankfulness, which I think same thing as gratitude, or maybe even calm, maybe. So I think there's a statement that it hit me back with that I thought was really great. And maybe it's a decent thesis for our conversation. And by the way, if we look at ChatGPT, it's really no, we used to look at the internet, we used to look at Google, and then we used to look at our dictionaries or whatever. It's just a lot faster. But some of you guys want to hear us say these things and talk about it rather than just looking it up. Because here's the other thing when it comes to like therapy and our work and even the book and some of these things. It's like from here on, anyone in Western civilization or if you have any kind of um, you
Mm.
know, uh, mobility in your life, you're going to have access to all of the world's information. Like you just do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily improve your life, and it does not necessarily change where you are relationally with things.
Mm.
So you can know more things, but you still want to talk to people. So I'm going to say that this is my thing about gratitude. Gratitude doesn't remove pain. It just makes sure that pain isn't the only thing that your brain sees.
Yes.
Isn't
And
that sweet?
I read that and I was like, now that I can get behind.
I know, right? It's very much the both hands thing. We've talked about
Yeah.
a lot out here.
And I
I,
think an
yeah,
empathy. I just think it's important. I don't think we give ourselves permission to be both things at the same time.
that's correct.
And that one cancels out the other, like, well, and again, maybe it's, when you should all over yourself, should,
Uh-huh.
or should or shouldn't all over yourself when you're like, well, I just wrote down 13 things that I'm grateful for, and here I am depressed or anxious or whatever. Like, this, uh-huh. Like, yeah, you can, yes. You can love all 13 things that you wrote down and still notice that your body is producing all the things that go with fight, flight, freeze feelings. Your
That's correct.
heart rate is up. You're feeling like you're feeling unsafe for no apparent reason. Like both of those things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, the both hands approach that we talked about a lot here. On the one hand, this is the truth of my situation and it's challenging, but I'm going to be present to it. I'm going to acknowledge it. I don't have to give into it, but I do need to, I need to give it a name. I need to acknowledge it. On the other hand, here are the things that I'm thankful for, that I have gratitude for, that are working out, that are within my reach. And the brain doesn't automatically lean into that other side because the brain has that negative bias.
No, and it would
But
be amazing if just listing the thankful things poofed this hand away. It doesn't, but
yeah,
man, I gotta tell
no,
you, realizing that your brain doesn't have to live in just anxious mode, that oh
right.
wait, there's room in here for more than just one, because this is scary, like
It is.
living in that kind of panic space, like that's a scary space. And the fact that no, maybe it doesn't, maybe this gratitude practice isn't just going to instantly, which is a whole different conversation, right?
Well, it's
Like,
because it's not honest whenever you try to cancel them. It's
yeah.
just not honest.
And well, and and what is honest is that we don't want to do it 3 times a week for 4 weeks. We want to do it one time for 20 minutes and have it work.
It's
Well,
over.
sorry.
It's not how our bodies and brains work. But back to the study, as we're kind of starting to wrap up, because talked about things that didn't matter for 20 minutes. The I talked about my jersey exploding. Um, is that the idea that when we do that on purpose and then we can summon gratitude and we can do it all, it's a behavior. Like I am thankful for X and I'm making a list and I'm doing this, I'm writing, I'm journaling, I'm talking, I'm doing it on purpose. And it's focused on this positive thing. We're training our brain, we're creating new pathways, and um, it like the brain starts to respond.
Mhm.
Like it just really does. I mean, think about people that were raised that way. Like that's kind of what their default is.
Yeah.
I, I, there's certain people in my life that are just like, well, this is the Greg Robinsonism, and Greg doesn't come across as like Mr. Positive Thinking guy. He seems so very stoic and like, you know, but he always does this. This is what he says. He'll be like, well, the good news is blah 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 blah. He loves saying, well, the good news is, and I always love going back to him and saying, is it? Are you sure? Are you sure that's good? I want to tell another story. One time we had to cut the top of a telephone pole off because there were woodpeckers got in this telephone pole. And so we were in the middle of nowhere, building ropes courses, building zip lines. And I climbed up this pole. I'm about 30 feet up this pole with my harness and stuff on. I'm like, yeah, this has got a big hole in it. Like
I know.
I need a chainsaw. I need a chainsaw to cut this pole off. And he's like, I don't have a chainsaw. I'm like, you don't have a chainsaw. Like we're getting paid a lot of money to come out here and repair this and inspect it and make sure that it's good. And then he said, well, the good news is that I have a handsaw and you're already up there.
And that did not feel like good news.
I did not feel like good news until he like really kind of tried to get it in my man card a little bit. He's like, I mean, you can just come down,
I'll go up and do
but
it.
no, he did not say that.
Oh no.
But he said, but if you stayed up there and cut off a telephone pole hanging 30 feet above the ground with a handsaw, people would respect that. And I'm like, you suck.
Yeah, challenge accepted.
And I did it, and and it was amazing feeling. And I'm telling that story now just to get a little ego bump, but at the end
Oh,
of our
sorry.
podcast.
Good job. That's so man
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, when I was like 32, I could do things.
to do things. That
Mm,
Jersey wouldn't have blown up that day. I can tell you that much.
no, just on my pectorals. Come
That's
on.
right. What I love about this practice
Thank
is,
you.
yeah, we're back.
We're
What I
back.
love about this practice is that, and again, I don't speak for all anxious people, but this podcast is about me. So we've
Do we
left
need to have
your head,
a
you can
pageant?
be stuck in your head, but it's about my life.
We need
Uh,
to have a Miss Anxiety pageant. You can get like pull out some
oh
of
my
your
God. I would
stuff
be
from when
like,
you're.
I'd get crowns and sashes and all
Yes.
wave. I would win. I would win so hard at that.
That'd be really good. Yeah.
Um, but what part of what is hard for me is the feeling of, and there's nothing I can do. That tape, or you were talking about thoughts, like, right?
Yes,
Thought of
yes.
like, well, you feel this way, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I don't know. I like having something I can try. And not everything works for everyone. Like some people are like, "Oh my gosh, box breathing." I don't even know what that means. But, or I go put my grounding, I go put my feet in the grass and I box breathe and I usually can calm down. Or other people,
Hmm.
they do ice on the back of the neck or they're tapping,
Yeah.
whatever. But like something, give me something to do.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know. I think that's what I really appreciate is that sometimes people get like annoyed with maybe about the thought of therapy is like what I'm gonna go in there and talk about my problems and then but like give me something
What are
to
we,
do.
yeah, what are we doing? Yeah.
You can do
Yeah.
this. You can do this. And I don't think I don't see how this wouldn't be like a benefit for every person, period. I
No.
don't care if you struggle with anxiety, depression, ADHD, like, or nothing. Maybe you're just perfect and you have the most mental, the healthiest mental.
Gratitude is probably like the expressions of gratitude on a regular basis or systemically is might be the most like practical emotional skill, like emotional bridging to behavior that we have because it's not dependent upon anything outside. So like when you're at the bottom of your barrel, like when you're at the end of your rope or any other kind of cliched metaphor I can come up with, like
Yep.
like yeah, like that's what tethering is. Like we talk about the book, like moving from lost to found, we're like, okay, what do I have? What
Yeah.
has helped me? What is in my sphere? What is around me that I can literally just connect to, that I'm appreciative of, that has been there for me before? I'm thankful for. I have gratitude for. Dot, 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 dot. Like it's got real practical application, man.
Yeah. And I would add, it wasn't in the study, but just this is because this is my personal challenge to myself. If your 20-minute session produces names of human beings that are alive, tell them.
Go do the thing. That's right.
Just tell them. I
Yeah.
had a friend today text me and thank me for something that happened. Well, how old are our kids? Almost 15 years ago.
That's awesome.
Hey, I was thinking about this the other day, and I remember when you showed up at my house when my kid was 2 weeks old and whatever. And I was like, and she was like, thank you. That really meant a lot to me. And I was like, okay, well, thank you for thanking me. Like, I mean, I
Hmm.
just think we don't have, like, I think the practice in and of itself is great. And what if we leveled it up and said out loud to somebody, thank you.
Right. Well, create community out of the thing that is reshaping our brain.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, not rocket science. You don't have to go to therapy to do this. Yeah, I'm doing this podcast here in just a second, and but one of the questions they're going to ask is, "What's one of the biggest misconceptions about therapy?" And I want to say that really out loud here, to say that like it might be for younger people, not for older people, but for younger people, is that therapy is like always the best solution, like the therapy, or that it always works, or that it always helps. I
Yeah.
don't think that's true.
Yeah.
And I think that like today, what we're talking about is just like a human thing. And we might actually do this in therapy, but not, I mean, you guys, we can go and do this. Our brains can get a better, well-worn path of gratitude. And also us summoning that idea is literally can be done at the drop of a hat anytime during the day. And our moods can be impacted and adjusted. And we can get practical things to tether to connect our life, to make them stronger and create healing. The gratitude practice, you guys, that's my challenge. We're going to do the gratitude challenge, which means we're going to like do videos and then we're going to dump a bucket of ice water on everybody's head about
Hmm.
being thankful.
I think that's already been done, and
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't understand it the first go round. I mean, I did it.
Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't.
Well, maybe we'll put that, but we'll
Yeah.
put that to like a committee. We'll take it back to the stuck in my head committee, planning committee.
All right. Whoever
That
it
one also, and we might want to bring the Harlem Globetrotters on that one.
Please have the Harlem Globetrotters on this podcast. Oh man.
That's, I was in a meeting one time when someone suggested that. Someone said, you know what we ought to do? We ought to like try to get a hold of like the Harlem Globetrotters and try to do like do a thing with them. It would be good for marketing. Like someone really said that once. So
Probably.
it's always been in my head that like it'd be a nice time to pull that out. So everyone, you're welcome. Really. Anyway,
Okay, say our blessing because you have to go.
I get to give the blessing. Damn. Okay. The blessing is this, like you're no like you are you're no more special or no more important than anyone else in the world. And I think you know that. I'm not more special or more than anyone else in the world. I'm not. But also, you are as important as everyone else in the world. And therefore, you get a vote. Therefore, we want to take care of each other. And we need to get attention taking care of ourselves. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. I got to go.
All right, see you, food lover.
Man, great talk today. Appreciate you.
Hey, back at you. I'm so grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too. And we're grateful for all of you guys. All of you. And I mean, and there's more and more. I think. Every week, whatever. All right. See you guys next week. Thanks.
Bye.